Guys, this is Honest Thoughts. Kevin Lee versus Gregor Gillespie, UFC 244. This one is going to be good. This fight is the one where I was least sure who's going to win. If you just watch them fight, they look like the same fighter. They're both top tier wrestlers, uh, really good boxers. There's small differences. Kevin Lee's a bigger guy, maybe. Well, I'm not sure about this fight, as I tried to look it up and I looked their weights, and it has Kevin Lee listed as a 170 pounder, right? Because he just went up in weight, fought Rafael dos Santos, and Gregor Gillespie is fighting at 155, so I can only assume he's going up to 70. Because from what I understand, Kevin Lee, from what he says, cannot make 155, and that's why he made the move to begin with. I hope this is a good fight. This, on paper, is a fucking banger. You know, in case no one's injured or has any health issues or anything like that, this is going to be a good fight. I've got my buddy here. He was helping me do research. He just plumb exhausted, and so this is what we know. If you haven't seen either of these two guys fight, go watch every single one of their fights. They're both entertaining. They're both wrestlers, and so they move forward, they pressure, they put the pressure on, ground and pound submissions. They're good at all of it. There's subtle differences between the two of them and between their game. Gregor Gillespie is older. He's 32. He also has, I'm not going to say less experience in the UFC, but Kevin Lee is by far faced more adversity and bigger names. That's just a fact. We'll see if that makes a difference. It might not. I don't think it will. Gregor Gillespie seems very... He's the type of personality that's oriented towards fighting. Not just fighting, but fighting and performing. Not too different from like Jorge Masvidal or something like that. He's not generally emotionally invested into his fights aside from performing at his best and winning. You know, it's a competition. He's competing. Kevin Lee's kind of a harder guy to get a read on. He talked a lot of shit to Tony Ferguson. He likes talking shit. He likes being a personality. He's very well spoken. I love Kevin Lee. I watched tons of interviews and his JRE podcast. I think he did it twice. I think I watched the first one. I don't know if I watched the second one or not. I don't remember. But he's the kind of personality where if he was a UFC champion, he would make a lot of fucking money because of the way he talks and how articulate he is and all that. But generally, I don't even bring stuff like that up, but I think it matters in this fight. I think Gregor Gillespie has a better mind for competition. I think he's just a better competitor, if that makes sense. Kevin Lee's first fight in the UFC was against Ali Quinta, and he looked like shit. He thought he had good boxing. He didn't. He didn't have good movement. He didn't have good shot selection. He didn't have fluid hands. He had this fucking awkward bootleg-ass shoulder roll that is a fucking disgrace. But he got better. He's not... he's capable of seeing his flaws and making changes and getting better. He is capable of getting better, and he's been better in every single fight he's had. And he's also fought Ali Quinta, which is a fucking damn good wrestler. Ali Quinta, my personal opinion, is not the best in the world, and I think Kevin Lee deserved that decision. I'd have to watch it a second time. I only watched it once. But I think he deserved that decision, and I think that he did the better work. But Ali Quinta's tough as fuck, and he always comes forward and you can't take him down. So, you know, that's a big part of Kevin Lee's game. And Kevin Lee also fought Tony Ferguson. Tough as fuck. Cardio that doesn't quit. Kevin Lee was also compromised in that fight. He had staff. You know, and that's not making an excuse for Kevin Lee losing, but that's a fact. And that affects his game. And Kevin Lee's a guy that has cardio issues anyway. So what all that means is, if Gregor Gillespie is a competitor, I think he is. Real competitors like Masvidal, of course I can't think of another name right now, but they find chinks in armor and exploit them, and they tailor their game plans around what they're good at and what their opponents are not good at. It's just this time around, both guys are good at the same shit. You know, Kevin Lee is younger, bigger, maybe bigger, but he's definitely longer, and he's more explosive, without a shadow of fucking doubt. His shots are so fast, I gotta watch him back in frame by frame to really, like, break him down. And Gregor Leslie is a little bit more methodical. He's got a little better ring generalship, and he also has a little bit better fight IQ. Just in, like, shot selection and decisions he makes in split seconds. But that doesn't mean that he might not get caught off guard by Kevin Lee's explosiveness and his speed. I mean, Jesus Christ, the first and second round, Kevin Lee versus Rafael dos Sanchez, like, came out like a bat out of hell, throwing everything in the fucking book at him. And, I mean, he didn't hurt him, but he did dominate him for 2 rounds straight. And probably put out way more energy than he meant to and that he felt like he should have. I think Kevin Lee is still kind of figuring it out. He's not 30 yet. He's figuring out his kind of fight identity. He has the things he's good at. He's got great footwork. He really does. A little bit better than Gregor Gillespie. Gregor Gillespie has better head movement. So it's all these things that they're very similar on, but at the same time, they're not exactly 1-to-1, and I've been trying to find these small differences to kind of guess a winner of this match. But regardless, you guys should watch this shit. I put on my Facebook, Hooters is playing the fight for this 244 on November 2nd. It's October 22nd right now. If you guys have like one fight a year that you have friends over and you go buy it and have a watch party, this is the fucking fight. Masvidal, Diaz, Wonderboy is probably going to be a good fight. You got Derek Lewis, that motherfucker hits like a ton of bricks. Like, he's got Mack trucks in his fucking arms. Seriously. And, and then Gaslam Till, both those motherfuckers get hard. So if you guys want to see a good fight, 244 is the one to watch out of everything all year. And this is the whole main event. The whole main event is like main event shit. So I don't know why you would watch this if you're even slightly interested in fighting. Or the UFC rather. But I don't even remember what the fuck where I was at. But okay. Let me get back and bring it down. So with all that being said, there's 2 ways to look at it, right? One is Gregor Gillespie knows Kevin Lee's disadvantages, and he's going to drag this shit out until the 5th round, right? 2, Kevin Lee knows his disadvantages, and he's going to come out even harder and faster than he did against Rafael dos Sanchez and try to fuck Gregor Gillespie up in the 1st round. Now, out of those 2 game plans of, maybe sure successes from either one of them, like that's their highest odds of winning, the longer, safer 5-round game plan is probably better. Even if Gillespie gets taken down from being conservative, which can happen because of how... I know Gillespie is a fantastic wrestler, but they both are. And Kevin Lee is physically more athletic. And just, his vertical is probably higher, his bench press is probably higher. Like, just that kind of stuff. It's just a fact. And if Gregor Gillespie is being conservative, wanting it to go to 5 rounds, he's going to get taken down. I don't think Kevin Lee is going to get very far on the ground. I think it's going to be pretty much a stalemate. Generally, when you have 2 wrestlers fight, it turns into a piss-poor kickboxing match, generally speaking. And Kevin Lee is not a one-punch knockout artist. He does everything textbook, and that's not a bad thing. But sometimes, if you see an opening, you throw that textbook out the window. And that's, I mean, Conor McGregor is a great example. Any knockout artist is a good example. They have things that are textbook, and they have things where they fucking throw that shit out the window so they can land a hard shot. And the more I go through this in my head, the more I give the advantage to Gillespie. Even though on paper he has less adversity in his fights, and you could say less experience, even though he's older. And Kevin Lee does get better. Fuck, man. I'm just going back and forth on this. I give Gillespie the advantage, 5-round decision, or TKO in the 5th round, because Kevin Lee's gas tank has been a glaring issue in more than one of his fights. And I think Gillespie just puts game plans together better. I think he game plans better, and I think he's a little smoother and a little has a little bit more je ne sais quoi, better at anticipating and knowing when to be conservative, knowing when to go on the attack, and going from ground and pound to submission, ground and pound to submission. Just like watching that tells me this is a guy that really thinks things through. And Kevin Lee seems to always have trouble putting it together. And that's where the difference is for me. And that's where I give Gillespie an advantage. And if he wins, it's probably a 5-round decision or a mid 5-round TKO. I think it's going to be with punches. I don't think it's going to be a submission unless he hurts Kevin Lee first and then gets a submission, which he, in a situation where he would have won anyway. So that's my thoughts. I thought about a lot of shit for this fight because it was so close and nothing is obvious, and I could be 100% wrong, and I won't be surprised no matter what happens. I just hope it's a good fight. I hope it's a banger. I hope they fucking land some bombs on each other. Alright, that's it, guys.